Hello everyone, this is Neha Sharma, your English language teacher. Today in this video, we are going to see part number 3 of poetic devices, which is very important for your class 10th and 12th especially. So, dear students, in our previous videos, we have completed 8 poetic devices which are of almost same kind where repetition was used. So, that repetition was of different vowel sounds, consonant sounds, repetition of a word, repetition of phrases in the consecutive lines and so on. So, today we are going to start the part number 3 of this poetic device, and today I have taken personification as the first poetic device. Actually in serial number it is 9, but today's first is personification. So dear students, personification is something related to persons. Okay, when the qualities of the humans are given to some non-living things, some animals, or to some inanimated objects. So let's see what is that. Personification is the name of the poetic device. It is a poetic device where animals, plants, or even inanimate objects are given human qualities. Let's understand this with the help of more examples. Lightning danced across the sky. Actually, this dancing, okay, so we have to give the stress here on the verb. Actually, we have to see the verb, actually what is going on. So here lightning danced across the sky. Here lightning is working as a noun. Okay, danced is the verb here. So lightning danced across the sky. Now this dancing is the actually who dances? Persons, right? So here what? Lightning danced. Clear? So this quality of human being is given to the lightning. So that's why this is personified actually. Lightning danced across the sky. So this lightning is personified as a person. So that's why it is this lightning is the personification. It is something like that. I'll give you very simple example. Like I'm teaching you. I'm a teacher and teaching is my profession. So the teacher teaches us many things. This is one example. And if I'll say nature teaches us many things. So teacher's quality or teacher's work is to teach. Clear? But I told you in the second sentence, nature teaches us many things. So this nature, I am giving the quality of the person who is a teacher to nature. So that is what? That is the personification of the things. So here also lightning danced across the sky. Actually this dancing is the quality of human being, but it is being given to the lightning. Clear? Next one is the car complained as key was roughly turned in its ignition. Now it is what? The car is a noun here and the car complained. Is it possible that car can speak or car complained? Whose habit, whose quality is this to complain? Human's quality. But that human's quality I am giving to whom? This I am saying here, the car complained. But car cannot complain because that cannot speak even, no? So that quality I have transferred to car. Complaining quality, that's a man is having the complaining nature always, right? So that car, that quality I have given to car, and that's why this is the personification being done here, that I have given the quality of complaining to the car, whether it is the quality of human being, right? Next is the camera loves her since she is so pretty. Third example. So the camera loves her. Loving, that is the nature of human being, but the camera loves her. It is what? Camera is in non-living thing, so that cannot love anyone. So but here I have written the sentence, the camera loves her since she is so pretty. Clear? So this loves is verb here, and this quality whether it is human quality that has been transferred to the camera. So this is once again the personification. Many examples are there. Suppose when the like today the weather is very fine, it's awesome actually, you may say. So today I saw, when I was on walk, so I saw branches were dancing. So branches were dancing or leaves were dancing. That's what? The quality dancing. That is actually the quality of human being, but that has been given to branches or the leaves. So that is what? Personification, right? Let's see the next one, that is what? Transferred epithet. Now dear students, I want to tell you that you can get confused in this transferred epithet and personification, but here I have written personification is what? Here the verb will be stressed, okay, and here transferred epithet. This epithet means what? It's adjective, qualities. Epithet means quality or adjective, clear? Or this is the another name of this poetic device is hyperlage also. So transferred epithet, epithet I have told you the quality or the adjective, clear? Here also we have given the quality, human quality to the inanimated objects, animals, plants, etc. Here I will directly come, what is this transferred epithet? Transferred means to transfer something. Epithet is what? The adjective. So here it is what? When noun should be given, one actual noun should be given one quality, but that quality we will not supply to that particular noun where it should be, but I will transfer that quality to the another noun which we will use in the sentence, clear? So that is the transfer of the epithet, means that is the transfer of the quality or transfer of the adjective. So here dear students, here you have to see the verb, like the car complained, clear? So complained is what? Verb here. So there it is verb here, but here the stress will be given to the adjective, that is the quality. For example, it is a see the definition. It is a poetic device which involves transferring an epithet from the thing it actually describes to something else in the sentence. Please understand it carefully. It is a poetic device which involves transferring an epithet. Epithet is what? The adjective, from the thing it actually describes to something else in the sentence. For example, we'll say I had a sleepless night yesterday. So sleepless night, clear? Night is what? Noun, and I am adding this sleepless before this night, clear? So this is what? Night can be sleepless. No, that is what? I was sleepless, I could not sleep, but I transferred my quality, that my adjective, what should be there, that I have transferred to that particular night. So this is what? When I transferred my quality to the night. So that is called transferred epithet. Another example is the man was walking with blind stick. Now tell me one thing, the stick can be blind? No, never, right? But the stick which is used by the blind man, that is called blind stick. So that adjective I have used with, actually the man who are blind, that he was walking with that blind stick, but that quality I have given to that stick, not to that human being, not to that man. Like the man was walking with the blind stick. Actually who is blind? The man is blind, that's why he was walking with the blind stick, right? But here the quality of that man I have transferred to stick. So that is called transferred epithet. So let's see with more examples. Some are written here. First one is a careless match, right? A careless match. It may be what? A match which is not caring of by nature. A scornful eye. Eye cannot be scornful. Sleepless night, what I told you. Cruel bars. Cruel bars. Suppose we are taking the bars of jail. So the person actually who has prepared those bars, that can be cruel. You know, bars cannot be cruel because non-living objects those are. So it is what? Cruel bars. The person who prepared the bars, he can be cruel, but I have transferred that quality to the bars. So that is what? Transferred of the adjective. Let's understand this with the example. Sarah has an unhappy marriage. Sarah has an unhappy marriage. Now tell me one thing, how marriage can be unhappy? Marriage cannot be unhappy, but what is that? It may happen either Sarah is unhappy or her husband is unhappy, right? So the couple is not happy actually, but what we said here, that Sarah has an unhappy marriage. So that is what, once again, the transfer of the adjective, where it should be actually, but we have transferred that to another noun of in that particular text. It may be in poetry, it may be anywhere, it may be in any speech. Okay, so just take the screenshot of this first one, personification, where we give, it is what, where we give the quality of the human being to the animals, plants, or even inanimate objects. But this transfer epithet is where we transfer the quality from one noun to another noun. Just take the screenshot of this, make notes in your notebook, and please try to find out some more examples of all these poetic devices which we are doing, and after that we will start the next one. Please take the screenshot. Okay, now the 11th poetic device today I have taken is very easy example, that is, and it is called onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, the spelling is O-N-O-M-A-T-O-P-O-E-I-A, onomatopoeia. This is what? It is a poetic device where words mimic the actual sound we hear, such as, suppose dog barks, right? That is what? Wow, wow. That bark also, or that bow bow also, that is a mimicry, right? When we do the mimicry, like dog barks, wow, wow, or it may be cat, how it does? It is mew, meow. That mew sound is called mew. Elephant trumpets. So that sound, like when there is rain, so it there is a occurrence of that pitter patter type of sound. When kids or anyone splash with water or they play with water, there is a sound of splash sound. When we play in water, when we just put the hand in water and do like this, so there is what? Splash of water. So the original, the mimic sound actually is created by something, so that is known as onomatopoeia. Clear? So it is what? Such as a dog's bark, a cat's mew. It may be bow bow, it may be a grumbling sound, it may be crawling, it may be it may be pitter patter of rain, it may be ting tong of the bell, right? It is what? Hiccup. It is the exact sound, that is a mimicry actually. So when the exact mimicry of some sound is created by someone, that is known as onomatopoeia. And these may be hiccups, honks, like when there is a horn, so that is what? Honking sound is appeared there. Murmur, when we speak slowly, that is called murmuring, right? So that murmuring, we cannot listen actually what it is, but that creates the murmuring. So that is what? Murmuring. So that is again onomatopoeia. Screeching, when we screech something, when we pull something badly, so that gives a screeching sound and that disturbs us. So that is what? Screeching sound. Next is splash, we have done. Whizzing sound, or it may be buzzing of the bees, like this. That's what? That's onomatopoeia. So dear students, I hope you understand this. Onomatopoeia, personification and transferred epithet. Let's do the next one, but before that, let's take the screenshot of onomatopoeia, learn that and try to find out some more examples. Now, dear students, let's take the next poetic device. The name of this poetic device is antithesis. Antithesis, and the next one is oxymoron. Here in this 12th and 13th antithesis and oxymoron, we have something opposite. Clear? So, one thing we have to do, this antithesis, here we have to use exactly the antonyms, means the opposite words we have to use. By the side of one, or means closely written words would be the opposite words. But here in oxymoron, we have to give the opposite idea. We have to give the opposite idea. So, this you have to note here, that antithesis is what? Antithesis is juxtaposition of contrasting words or idea to give a feeling of balance. Clear? And here you have to use the opposite ideas. It's what? Opposite words and opposite ideas. Clear? So, this let's understand this with the help of the examples. First one, there was both peace and war. So, what you have noticed, this peace and war are the antonyms. Clear? Good and evil are the part of life. So, this good and evil, once again, antonyms. Spicy food is heaven on the tongue, but hell in the tummy. So, this heaven and hell are the opposite words, are the antonyms. So, here in these sentences, we have used the opposite words, right? And those opposite, this poetic device is known as antithesis. What is this? Antithesis. It's ANTITHESIS. And the second one, where we use something opposite, that is the opposite idea, contrasting ideas. Clear? So, the use of opposite, we use the opposite ideas, that is known as oxymoron. Let's understand this with one very good example, like it was an intelligent donkey. Now, donkey is intelligent, can be, no, right? So, it is what? Idea is opposite here, that intelligent donkey. Okay. Next is open secret. Now, the secret, how it can be open? Clear? So, here it is what? Opposite idea once again. Dark light. It is not opposite word, but light was dark. There was a dark light in the room. So, that is what? It is opposite idea. Original copy. Please submit original copy of your documents. So, that is what? Original copy. Now, copy, how it can be original? Sweet sorrow. Right? Sorrow cannot be sweet. Definitely, maybe. Now, the thing which is definite, how that can be maybe, right? So, that is what? This is oxymoron. And please understand that once again, and in antithesis, we have to use opposite words. What is it? Opposite words. And here in oxymoron, we have to use opposite ideas. This is very important. Students generally get confused in this. So, please take the screenshot of both of them and please note down and find out some more poetic devices of these type from newspaper you can get. It is not necessary that in the poetry section you will get it. You may get it in any text, you may get it in newspaper or speech or whatever you listen, So, there you can get that and try to find out some more examples. And please take the screenshot and then we will do the next and the last for today. I hope you have done. Next and the last for today is hyperbole. Hyperbole means what? Hyper, when we exaggerate something, right? When we increase something. The best example is this. Your mother always keep on saying, I have told you hundreds of times, I have told you millions of times, do this, clean your room, study, something, something, something. So, does she speak this millions of times? Thousands of times? No, but she used to exaggerate the things. Actually, mothers are of that nature, no, that's quite natural. So understand this with the definition first. A hyperbole is a large exaggeration to draw the attention of the reader. When we exaggerate something, that is known as hyperbole. Best example I've told you, your mother. He is running faster than the wind. Clear? This is one of the example. He is running faster than the wind. We have increased something. No, that he is running faster than the wind. Second, that man is as tall as house, or we can say Qutub Minar here in India, right? So can it be? No. The shopping cost me $1 million. At one shopping it cannot be there, right? Baby's skin is softer than the silk. So again we are exaggerating the things here, so that is known as hyperbole. And that's all for today. And you please, what should I say, stay safe, stay healthy, and that's very important actually nowadays. Please use sanitizers, keep washing your hands, and please do not go outside your home, okay, because everything is being provided by your parents here, so there is no need to go out. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, take the screenshot of this, note down, and rest poetic devices we will do in next part number 4 of our video. Thank you.